All of my videos will be in this style. As of lately, this has been most convenient, and I plan on doing this with a couple more videos. I will have the old style of videos back for sure. I will have those back where I'm making an entire video. I'm editing, it's looking nice, it's chopped up well. But this style, I've gotten used to the sound and how to cut the sound up, so this should be a decent video. So you already see what we're here for. Let's not stay on that screen for too long. We're talking about One Piece. I like that screen that you see right here though, because it's the squad doing their thing, watching the new show that's coming out. So as we can see here, we got Ulti in page 1 in the beginning of the chapter. She's finally been reunited with her brother, right? Yamato seems to be saving everybody. I think she's going to completely unite the entirety of Wano. She might end up creating her own crew in Wano, or she might gain a following of some sort. I don't know. Maybe not a crew, right? But she might gain her own following. Who knows? So the chapter starts off with Zoro slaying one of the giant monsters that we saw. I know this is zoomed out, but this is for copyright purposes. I already got 2 copyright strikes. I can't risk another one. So you got to bear with me until I bring the old style of videos back. If you were wondering, the copyright strikes were from live streaming the chapter. I didn't think that could happen because I see people do it all the time. I guess I don't know the secret. I should have probably deleted the video. I don't know. But here we go. Zoro defeating the monster, landing the final blow on the monster. And we have this guy, okay, and his shield, Nash. He explains later on that this shield is similar to Zeus because his father back in the day went on an expedition to try to kill Big Mom. So they went to go hunt her down, and it happened to his father's shield back in the day, and it's a shield that his father brought back home, and now it's his. His name is Nash. And apparently Zeus, Nash knows of Zeus. Everybody knows of Zeus. Look at this little stupid picture they gave him. But apparently everybody knows of Zeus, and Nash knows of Zeus because, as it says here, he's like one of the exalted homies. Like, he's like one of the legendary, because he's the first homie. He's one of the first homies, basically. So he kind of has that badge of honor on him, right? So here we see a scene continuing from last chapter 2 of Loki laying down, obviously, right? And Gerd, what's his name, Rode, and his brother Haruden, not Haruden, I always forget his name, my bad, but his brother, they're all standing there, his half brother. And Loki's talking about how he got defeated by Holy Knights. So he's explaining to them what happened, okay, and how he got injured. And then Loki says something like, don't be stupid. If I ran into the Holy Knights a long time ago, outside on the sea, when I was rampaging on the sea, I would have been the king of the world already. We can't really believe Loki. We know this from now. We know this now. We can't really believe Loki. He kind of says things, and he's a trickster, so he'll say things, apparently. We know he'll just say things and it won't even mean anything. So we have to be careful when listening to Loki's dialogue, because he might just say something and it's him bluffing, okay? Or it's him not wanting to, reveal some sort of truth, obviously. So they come back from the hunt or whatever, right? And they feed Loki. I like the way Luffy just I don't know, it's kind of weird to some people, but Luffy's kind of been like this before, right? He's kind of been, he's friendly to people. It's happened before. It's not the first time he's been friendly, but I guess the thing for people is the fact that he's being so friendly to Loki. For some people, it's almost like he's being overly friendly, it's almost out of character for some people, which I don't exactly see, okay? Because Luffy is still being Luffy. I don't know, he just wants Loki healed up because of, the deal they had, basically, whatever. Loki's gonna help him do something. Luffy wants him healed so he can get it out of him, get the information out of him. This was why he wants to see Shanks. That's why I say, you trying to kill me? I like that, it's just funny. And I hope I don't get copyrighted for this, because I'm not really reading the chapter on their website. I'm just talking about it. Should be enough editing, right? But it's funny, he's like, yo, bro, stay away from me, bro. He said, I could see the burns. I could see the pot bubbling from here and all that, right? So he's mad. And it's kind of funny how Luffy's just abusing the dude, basically. And Sanji finds out that even Gerd hates him too. she hates Loki too. Everybody hates Loki. They don't know what he did. This scene right here reminded me of Boondocks. Like, damn, what did he do to make them niggas that mad? It's like Boondocks, okay? Nobody knows what he did to make him that mad. He's wondering, like, damn, you're trying to feed me. You're almost killing me with this food. I guess that's how bad you want to meet Redhead, you know, okay? Then we go into the flashback of him with, he's talking to, you know, Rocksteady Zebek, as everybody was saying. And he gets stabbed as a kid by Rocksteady Zebek, which is crazy. Like, he actually stabbed him as a kid. And we see Whitebeard in that flashback saying, you didn't have to stab him. But he did anyway, right? That's kind of crazy, the fact that he stabbed him. So that Rocksteady Zebek is already, we're kind of getting a glimpse of what type of character he is. He stabbed a kid. He said, shut up, Newgate. He doesn't give a fuck. So, yeah, we see Gabon here, obviously. And he says, like, you know, even if Elbath, if Elbath isn't even safe, it's really the end of the world, basically, right? So that's telling you that Elbath was really a safe haven because of its status and all that. I mean, you know, some people might say it just hasn't been touched because, you know, Oda hasn't gone there yet, right? Like, it's not realistic. How come all of a sudden the God Knights want to move now? It's just convenient writing. People say this stuff all the time. I say, you know, yeah, obviously the writer wasn't thinking of making things move in the background with Elbath this entire time, but I feel like it's written in a way to make sense. They had reasons to be hands off on Elbath, and they have reasons to try to not be hands off now. Obviously, if they want Elbath to be under their knee, realistically, they should have tried to do this sooner. But yeah, they're doing it now when the Straw Hats are there, right? Whatever. You're thinking too hard, okay? That's what I'm telling you. You're thinking too hard. Just chill out. So we see the firefighters trying to put the fire out, and they're saying the flames are just too massive, right? So the kids are still walking into the fire. We see Saul already defeated the fucking Fenrir, and this girl Gunko. We know Gunko, right? We know Gunko is most likely listening to Brooks' music. She said she's listening to the song "The New World." What did Brooks sing? I'm pretty sure he sung a song called New World when Luffy when they came back from to Fishman Island, and they were about to go to Fishman Island. I mean, they came to Sabaody after the time skip. All the Straw Hat crew reunited. Brook was singing a song he's putting on the stage. I mean, the concert at Sabaody. I'm pretty sure he had that song in his lineup. I might be tripping. I might be forgetting that, and I might be kind of making that up in a sense, because just trying to put two and two together. But I'm pretty sure Brooke had a song called New World, and that's what she was listening to. So maybe she will notice that Brooke is the person she's a fan of. And we hear her talking about how she's gonna let them be tortured and burned into bones, and the guy's saying, yeah, that's some real emotion. So he's finally feeling that emotion that he's been telling her to have, because he thinks she's kind of dull. But yeah, Jinbei is a beast. This dude is throwing the sea clouds as a giant ass fucking volley, and somehow he put out the big ass flames. Nami and Brooke fangirling over him, and he put these giant flames out with one throw because he's the man. Okay, we get this nice picture of Chopper and Nico Robin on the bottom, because Nico Robin's always nice in any picture, right? Oda knows what he's doing when it comes to her. So Nami finds out how Colin, his relationship is with the rest of his class. And then we got Gunko here with her panties out and both cheeks out for some reason. Okay, people keep talking about, wait until we find out her age is really this. And Oda got us the whole time, and the war continues. Whatever. We're not here for all that. Anyway, I don't know why. It's crazy you drew it like that. That's wild. But I like the pose with the hand over the face. That's like a JoJo type pose. If you're just looking at the picture from here, that's a JoJo-esque pose. I like that. Okay. Let's actually leave this here for now. This is the end of the chapter. Okay, Gunko out. Boom. I like that picture. So, what can I really say about this entire chapter? Other than it's good, okay? Like every other chapter, what else could we expect, okay? And I think that Loki and Luffy might end up fighting again. I know I'm fixated on that kind of, if you see my other video. And I haven't been making any videos recently because the last two I did make got copyrighted because I made them in the middle of me streaming. And it was like an actual good review of the chapter in the middle of me streaming, and it kind of got cut because of copyright, right? I had the cover pages in the background. There was too many cover pages in the background, I guess, side scrolling, and maybe they got me because I read the manga chapter. I hope I don't get copyrighted for this because I'm not really showing the whole chapter. I'm just, showing pictures like I do in any other video. I have pictures of this, so I hope I don't get copyrighted. I've been understanding how it works this whole time. I don't know why it would just do me like that now. I already got 2 strikes. One more copyright strike, you're out. Y'all might have to find me on my other channel if I get copyrighted. I might have to make another channel with the same name, same icon, same logo. I might re-upload some of the same videos. But I digress. What can I say at the end of this chapter? It's really good. I like Gunko's character design. I'm not saying that because her fucking panties out. I'm talking about like this whole right here, this whole thing right here. Boom, this sweet. The sleeves being long, whatever. She looks pretty sweet. And we're gonna see her in action next chapter. Okay, next chapter might be coming out sooner than this video dropped. I mean, I don't even know how to say that. I said that wrong. When this video drops, the chapter might already be coming out like the next day or 2, is what I'm trying to say, okay? And the fact that Jinbei can shoulder toss all of that water, that's showing his strength, okay? All of these Straw Hat crew members are on par with giants to some extent, if not stronger than giants to some extent. This is what makes a lot of people feel iffy about the giant power scale. Not even, let's not think about Dorian Broggy versus number 3, Mr. 3, whatever. That's different. They were weak. There's a lot of stipulations going on, whatever. The power that the guy had, it was just naturally strong, whatever. It's solidified wax, whatever. There's a lot of things you can say about that. Loki is overpowered, right? But the fact of the matter is, since we've been seeing the giants and Egghead and Elbaf, Luffy has been on par with them. They've said things that make us assume and think that Luffy might be stronger than a lot of normal giants. Like when they mention certain animals being super strong and almost like, real tough for a lot of people or whatever. And how much of a threat the animals are, but we see Luffy and people like Zoro one-shotting them, right? They're taking them down with one shot. That shows that these dudes are just as strong as giants. And a lot of people, small people-sized, human-sized people, are just as strong or stronger than giants. We've seen what the Holy Knights did to those 2 giant pirate crew members, or they were just guards, I guess, right? So we've seen what the Holy Knights did to those 2 guards, okay? And if we keep going with that train of thought, I mean, it almost feels like the giants are just giant. In some sense of the world, like compared to normal humans, yes, obviously that's a super big advantage, a giant advantage, no pun intended, right? But when it comes down to the world of super powered people and people being like having powers and abilities to make them superhuman, the giants can be just as strong as a human. When it comes to that, that's just the plain fact of the matter you have to accept. I know some people don't want to accept it. They don't like hearing that. They don't like the fact that that's kind of a thing. But you got to accept it, okay? You have to accept it. Now, another thing I could say is I still would like to see Luffy versus Loki, but at this rate, we might not get it. Luffy might just befriend Loki. I could see Loki trying to betray Luffy because he's just that nasty and evil with it, right? But Loki and Luffy might actually work together. And whatever Loki's power or ability is that's making him, or whatever it is about him that makes him think he's the next Joy Boy, it might not even be his power. A lot of people think he might turn white, or he might have fire powers associated to that. He has thunder, it creates fire with his hammer. Does he have a devil fruit? We don't know this so far. He might have one. I think Loki has a devil fruit on his own, but as far as we know, he might not even have one. He might just be naturally strong with his, abnormal strength because of his ancient giant blood, with a combination of him using haki. He might not even have haki. He might be naturally strong on his own without any haki, right? And just a devil fruit hammer. So we have to find out more about Loki. And I really want to see the flashback with him and his father. He's been saying everything except for that. They're all kind of talking to Loki and learning about him. And we're going to see all the other characters slowly. I feel like we're going to see everybody that's there with Luffy, all the other giants that's there. We're going to see them slowly start to understand and almost accept Loki to an extent. While on the other hand, his brother is also, I mean, he might be more apprehensive. He might never accept him, or he might, hold the father's death against him until the last moment. Until he finally just accepts, okay, damn, Loki's not a bad person. He's an asshole, but he's not a bad person. Like, he's not evil, I should say. He's a bad person, but he's just not evil. Okay? Some shit like that. So yeah. And Gunko, yeah, her knowing Brooke's music, I hope that is mentioned. Brooke is definitely gonna ask her to see, you know what? I think Oda lined this up perfectly. I'm saying it here first, y'all. I never heard anybody say this. I think Oda created Gunko so she can specifically have an interaction with Brooke, because her panties are out, and Brooke's always asking the girls to see their panties. He doesn't have to ask her to see her panties because they're already out. Boom. How does that work? Maybe I'm just talking about some random bullshit, but man, there's something going on with that, okay? She listens to his music. She has her panties out already. This might be Brooke's girl. Not for real, but you know what I'm saying. Like, this might be, he might have a fight with her. Oda made her to interact with Brooke on this level that she's going to eventually, and inevitably, it's gonna have to happen, okay? I feel like it might. And what else? Robin and Chopper, amazing. I like that pose. I mean, that picture down there. I like that. And Saw, all the other giants, they're strong, right? Scopper Caban, he said that he didn't want to find out how strong the real Loki was. So maybe is that a hint at him saying, like, yeah, the real Loki is definitely probably stronger than me. Like, some of these giants are still, like, definitely up there too, because it seems like Scalpers, he could be stronger than all the giants, or most of them, not all of them. That's crazy. Not the super elder ones or any of the, the top dogs. But just average giants, yeah, I think he's walking all of them. He's walking all of them. Okay. We're gonna have to find out what's going on with what's her name? The woman who's taking Ripley. We're gonna have to find out what's going on with Ripley and Frankie. Okay. They're walking around doing their own thing. We haven't seen them again in a good little second. It hasn't been that long, but it's been a good little second. Last thing we seen of them was him having a detour of the island. We seen the little mysteries. If you haven't seen my video talking about the mural, my best, I tried to talk about it the best I could. You can watch that. I'll probably link it after this, this video's over. It'll be up on the recommended. But yeah, we found out that they had an old science lab on there over thousands of years old. He's got a lot of lore and a lot of story being juggled around at the same time. We're finding out a lot of stuff. If we find out what happened to King Harold, or King Harold, and I forget his name, whatever the fuck the king's name is, right? That Loki supposedly killed. If we find out what happened to him, I can imagine there will also be, like, just aside from what happened in the Revelation, there's gonna be a big lore drop that coincides with that, like why they were fighting in the first place and who they were fighting is going to be important and relevant in some way, shape, or form. It could have been Shamrock again. Shamrock could have been the person who was there in the past, as those claw marks that look like dog scratches or animal scratch on the walls in that throne room. People have mentioned that could be reminiscent of Cerberus and the battle scars from him going on a rampage. Right? And I'm not too far, I don't think it's too far-fetched. People saying Loki transforms into a giant wolf. We had the image of the giant wolf that looks like it's purple, his tongue hanging out his mouth like Loki. But there was also an image of, there was another purple animal. I forget what it was right now. There was another purple animal that Oda drew that really looks like it could symbolize Loki too. I forgot what it is right now. You got to kind of search that up. I'm kind of hot that I'm mad that I don't have that right now for you, and I can't really pull it up. This is a one-shot video, no edits. But because my mouth is getting dry and I'm running out of things to say, I might end the video around here. I think it was, like I said earlier, it's real funny how Loki's being treated by Luffy. I think it's kind of amazing that Luffy is just acting stupid to even this dude, and he can bully him around. I know he's in chains, but like, let's see what happens and what comes about that and comes from that after Loki's no longer in chains and Luffy can interact with him face to face. I wonder if Luffy will just go giant just to be on his level and talk to him, or will they still have a fight with Loki? I hope Loki says, you know what, I'm at full strength. Like, I just want to fight you. Let's just fight. I want to see where you at. I can't. That punch the punch you got me with earlier was a fluke because I was so injured and weak. Okay, I hope he says something like that. Yo, that knockout, it was a fluke. Yeah, I admitted defeat, but you can't really do that to me. And I hope that sparks up a sparring match or some little fight, and they fight. Luffy goes giant, and they box a little bit. And maybe he gets knocked out. Maybe Luffy catches the lightning and shows Loki that, you know, he just can't touch him like Enel couldn't touch Luffy, even though he has his power. I don't know, but I'm curious what happens. I know you are. Comment down below if you feel like it. Subscribe, like, and all that other shit that people say in the beginning and the end of videos if you feel like it. It's okay if you don't. You could just watch and leave. It's all good. But I'm out.